You must annihilate a muscle in order to make it grow. That is a myth, and it's fitness myth number 13. I'm Dr. Mike for Renaissance Periodization. I forgot my last name. Maybe let me know what it is in the comments. Bonus points for proper spelling. Folks, let's get into this idea. So the claim here is said in a bunch of different ways. You got to push beyond into the beyond to grow. You know, people say like, man, if I can't walk for a week, I know I fucking hit legs right. If you're not sore, you're not growing. Been said a lot. Been said by me back in the day. Ugh, embarrassing. More damage is more growth. Also been said by me back in the day. Embarrassing. 20 sets of chest, bruh. You guys know the undergrad 20 sets of chest workout. We smash all the angles. Incline, flat, decline, crossovers. But wait. Dips to finish it off. But your buddy gets under you to angle your shit, so it's chest dips, not tricep dips. You got to hit all the angles, and if your chest doesn't physically fall off of you after the workout, it's not going to grow. There's tons of this kind of stuff floating around, but it seems to be mildly mythical. Let's find out why. So first, in order to counter people that are like, what the pros say, all the pros smash it, Lee Haney himself, a living god, 8-time Mr. Olympia, more or less coined the term, stimulate, don't annihilate. So unless you feel yourself more qualified than Lee Haney to speak on the subject, or your favorite pro is more, advanced than Lee Haney and has more, this is just a funny thing to say, more trophies in his case, which only Ronnie Coleman has ever tied that. On the female side, however, Iris Kyle beat them all. So it's not, a lot of the bros say even that annihilation is stupid. So already that argument is kind of like down the river. Next, here's where it gets really nitty-gritty. There is good research and good theoretical basis to suspect the following: that excess damage beyond a certain point actually competes with muscle growth. Anytime you stimulate a muscle, what happens is there are resources in your body and the muscle, somewhat external to the muscle, which recover that damage and that stimulus. And generally, these recovery resources can go to one of two things. One is making adaptive processes, physically building the muscle bigger, and the other is just healing the damage. If the damage gets really extensive, you spend so many resources actually healing the damage, you don't accomplish a whole lot of growth, and you could potentially get no growth at all and just heal for next time, which, Jesus Christ, is the worst thing ever. Think about it. It's like from a kind of philosophical perspective. You worked twice as hard as you had to grow, and you got zero results. I mean, look, if you're going to get zero results, you might as well be on the couch toking it up. There's no reason to go to the gym and have all the pain for literally no benefit. So anytime you feel like pushing yourself way too hard in the gym, think that the downside is kind of the worst of all worlds. All the effort and very few or none of the gains. It's a bad deal. Another analogy I like to use is think about like a Miami skyscraper and a hurricane. If it's a mild hurricane, some windows get busted, some paint falls off, and let's say we have resource capacity. We have like $10 million in our slush fund for the skyscraper relief in order to fix it. Well, we use $1 million to fix all the shit we need to, and we have $9 million left. Like the money sort of refills every month. Fuck it, let's build a few more elevator shafts or something, or get some nice office chairs and upgrade, adaptation, a better skyscraper. But if you get the mother of all hurricanes to come through and it chops half the motherfucking skyscraper off, all your money is going to rebuilding it. There's no improving it because you're completely out of money because the damage was so extensive, right? You don't get into car accidents to get huge because that damage we know is excessive and it'll just heal. So why would you try to replicate a car accident in the gym? We're here to stimulate. Some damage must come along for the ride and maybe is even stimulative itself, but there is such a thing as too much. There absolutely is. Next point. No training session is ever in isolation. We don't just train once and then like, all right, that's it. I'm huge. I'm Mr. Olympia. It's literally often twice a week for the same muscle. And even if you just train once a week for the same muscle, it's week after week after week after week after week. So if every time you train, you just leave it all on the gym floor and just damage the muscle like crazy, there's a chance that you're not fully healed or even close to fully healed by the next time you come in to hit it hard. Well, hold on a second. I thought it was warrior shit. Wait, there's a next time. That means I should maybe not go so hard. so that I can heal by next time and have another good workout and another good workout and another good workout. Stupid analogy off the top of my head. If you're going on a pub crawl and you love all these bars, you haven't been like you're going back to Austin, Texas or some shit like that. You love Austin. You haven't been around for a while. It's gotten better since you were there. And you want to hit this little strip of Austin where there's a bunch of pubs and you love all of them, especially you love the last one. You don't have 10 fucking beers at the first pub and then just pass out on the street face down before pub number 2. That's thoughtless. You got to hit 4 of these shits in a row. You want to have fun at all of them. So what do? You have 2 or 3 beers at each one. And at the end, you fall face down, but hey, you wave the white flag of defeat and you've successfully actually checklist going to all the pubs and having fun. You don't just want to blow your load on the first one. So a lot of people treat every workout as if it's like their only workout for that week or the last workout ever. Well, that's thoughtless, because what you want to do is stimulate with keeping in mind the idea that you still have to recover for future workouts. Get a great stimulus, come back, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again. The people that come in twice a week, even once a week for the same muscle, consistently, day after day, week after week, they grow, they grow, they grow. Eventually they get jacked. Nobody ever got jacked from one workout. So if we're just going all in, and everyone posts stupid motivational shit sometimes. I get it. You get bodybuilders being like, I treat every fucking workout like it's my last. Really? Bullshit. If it was your last workout, you would do all the volume in the world and get rhabdo. But you're not doing that shit. You have some semblance of civility in the gym. You have to plan for the future. So do it right and make sure you're playing the trade-off well. Yes, we want a great workout, but we also want to set up good workouts for later, which means we can't go all out in most cases. Lastly, huge single session volumes. Instead of, let's say, doing 10 sets of quads on Monday, 10 sets on Thursday, you do 20 sets of quads on Monday. During that session, but especially in the next session, after a huge presentation of damage, the next time you come in and train that same muscle, your chance of injury marginally goes up significantly, measurably. Huge exposures in a single dose are, first of all, not the way you get better at any sport. Right? Can you imagine someone's like, yeah, I used to suck at tennis. Then this one tennis practice, I played for 5 fucking hours straight, and I was fucking Andre Agassi after that shit. That tennis player reference dates me like crazy. I know, he's like from the 90s or some shit. But in any case, like what? Like if you train an hour, 5 times a week for weeks and weeks, then you'll get good at tennis. So it's crazy that people think, okay, I got to get in this workout. I got to smash it. Not only is that going to increase your chance of injury later, there's nothing to benefit from going that hard. After a certain, if you train real easy, you get some level of gains. You train harder in a single session, you get better. At a certain point, it goes like this. That's where you stop. Because after that, the whole thing earlier with the damage competes with adaptation, the growth curve of one session, as you increase the volume, starts to go like that. What the fuck are you doing here? Nonsense is what you're doing, and it's a bad idea. Now, grains of truth. There are grains of truth to pretty much everything, so we have to cut some slack here. On the other side, here we go. You have to present an overload to grow your best. You're not getting bonus points to go through the motions. And there's, for every stupid moron bro who just does 80 sets a session and just all the steroids in the world and can't see straight, there's like his reflection in an alternate universe, which is like pencil neck evidence-based, like, biomechanics. And he's like, my left hip labrum seems to be irritated, and does like one working set of sort of squats, but then switches to hack because his hip hurts. And he never actually puts in overload. And the doctors look at him and there's nothing wrong with him. It's just not interested in doing the hard stuff. And that's totally fine. Fuck hard stuff. Fuck the gym. Like computer programmers make way more than personal trainers or bodybuilders. Just go program computers. It's fine. But when you're in the gym, you got to go hard. That doesn't mean you're hardest ever. That doesn't mean until you're vomiting blood. It just means you go some level of hard, and everything below that is like, you're not really trying that hard. I used to think that this evidence-based, like weasel geek person afraid of work wasn't really a real thing. I thought it was a caricature bros made up to make themselves feel better. But my friend Menno Henselmans assures me that a lot of these folks are real. He's met them in real life, and they really do make tons of excuses. And the only thing really going on is they don't want to grind. You have to accept the grind. Once you accept it psychologically, say, I'm here for the fucking pain, you still have to choose an amount of training. And that amount must be logical. If you want to do more, doesn't matter. You're here to do what it takes. If you want to do less, doesn't matter. You have to do what it takes. The science decides what we have to do, and of course our own autoregulation, and our motivation or desire to either overload or not overload has to adjust to that, because we're in the gym for gains, not to make ourselves feel good about how hard we went that day. And if you're in the gym for that, sweet, no worries. Don't worry about gains because you're clearly not optimizing for them. Next point. So sort of a sub-point off the first one. If you're never getting a big pump, or you're never getting super weak in a muscle after a session, like if you did a crazy bicep workout and then you can still, your 10 RM for curls is like the same at the end of the workout as the beginning, you didn't do a workout. Your muscles have to get weak. If you're peeling yourself off the hack squat and you have trouble walking, well, yeah, you did some shit. Your clearly quads are so weak that you can barely walk anymore. Maybe it's too much, but it's definitely not enough, right? And if you don't get any kind of soreness or anything like that, it strains the imagination to think that you're actually trying very hard. You're unlikely to be presenting the biggest stimulus. So here's the thing. No, you don't have to annihilate, but training has to be hard. And for advanced lifters especially, and for most people, at the end of their mesocycles, towards the last weeks before the deload, especially the last week, proper stimulus and annihilation start to look real similar. And you can see this by tuning into RP with our Monday workout vids. And we have a disclaimer in every single caption there that says, hey, not all sessions are going to be like this. These are just the peak ones. And here's how to do proper sessions. Here's all these videos and all the science. But the last week before a deload really is pretty close to annihilation because that's what it takes at that point. Also, you have a whole deload to recover from it. So it is a little bit more like treating every workout like it's your last, because for a little while it is your last. That's cool, but not every week is peak week. On the other hand, if your peak weeks are like, yeah, it's just a big peak week workout, no big deal. Like, that's not a peak week workout. You are lying to yourself. You could have pushed further and you probably would have gotten more jacked had you done that. So taking all this together, best practices. First, start your mesocycle with a decent stimulus. 3 reps in reserve, get a good pump, maybe get a bit sore, and then recover on time for next time. So if you hit it Monday, by Thursday, you hit chest again, you should be nice and recovered, ready to hit it hard again. Every week, you want to add a little bit of something, add some load, or add a rep or two to keep the reps in reserve either stable, so 3, and then next week 3, and then 3, or my personal preference, keep it falling slightly, so 3, and then 3, and then 2, and then 2, and then 1, and then 1, and then 0, and then 0, and then you deload, right? You can also add sets to keep the pumps really good and making sure you're really tiring out and disrupting the muscle. So if 3 weeks into your plan, you're like, man, this isn't really that much volume. I'm not really getting a big pump. I feel like if I did 2 or 3 more sets, I'd get a huge pump. And also like I recover like instantly. I'm not even tired. I never get sore. You can probably do more work and get more hypertrophy. So you should almost certainly adjust your volume as needed. And generally not all adjustments will be up, but on average from the beginning of the meso to the end, you'll go up for a while and you'll probably plateau for a bit and then add only reps and load at the end. But in any case, things have to get harder over time. Not so much harder that you can't heal on time for the session. That's the real crux of the sport of bodybuilding, and training in it is almost every session except for the last one before deload. You have to think 2 things. 1, how do I get a great stimulus? 2, how do I make sure I still heal on time for next time? Which means the greatness of my stimulus has to be capped at least somewhat. And you make these kinds of trade-offs in every single area of your life. It's not that complicated. You go to dinner with friends. You have a maximization problem of 2 things. Optimization problem. 1, how do I have a great meal? 2, how do I not spend all of my money, right? You may want to take an Uber home, and it turns out you went to this crazy steakhouse and you're like, oh, the bill's $2,000. You're like, yay, that's my savings, and I can't afford an Uber. That'd be really stupid. So why would you do that during training? You wouldn't, right? Now, here's the thing. In the final week of the mesocycle, you'll be annihilating. We're pretty damn close to it. But then you get a deload week to heal. Everything comes down. You get to start a new meso again. Go nice and, I don't want to say easy, tough. And then tougher, annihilation, deload, repeat. That's it. Training solved in only what was maybe 15 minutes. See you guys next time.